Alright, you're watching the Live Addiction with Steve O. Joining me today is the band We Came as Romans. If you guys would, introduce yourselves to the camera and tell your role in the band.
I'm Dave, I do vocals.
I'm Joshua, and I play guitar.
Awesome. For those watching that haven't heard your music, can you describe your sound?
I don't know, it's hard.
Yeah, it's a little tougher with our newest CD because previous to our newest CD is called Tracing Back Roots. We were a lot heavier band, and then with the new CD we have like 5 or 6 songs that Dave is like just singing on, and Dave traditionally only screamed for us before then, and so now it's a little different. It gets a little harder. It's a whole new world for us with this new CD where we can have songs that are like completely melodic. And then at the same time, we have 2 songs that are like almost all screaming all the way through. So
I'm really heavy.
yeah, I'm gonna say like a heavy version of like modern radio rock.
I like to say we're like a heavier version of Linkin Park.
Band's Warped Tour was where I first saw you guys this past summer. I gotta say it was definitely one of the highlights shooting you guys. I'm also a photographer. I got some cool pictures I was showing Kyle a second ago. What bands were you the most excited to tour with and watch play live on that Warped Tour?
I liked watching Architects and Let Live.
Yeah.
Big fan of both those bands, and they put on such a sick show. You know, whenever I could, I would always try to catch their sets.
I was about to say Let Live. That was for me. I never heard anything about those guys, and that singer just melted my face.
I just love their albums, and I like watching them. And Lonnie, their drummer, is like a pretty good friend of the band, and because he used to just tech for Mice and Men, and then wound up joining Let Live, and I was like, good dude, good friend of mine, just joined one of my favorite bands, so perfect.
Cool. Yeah, it was cool. It was awesome too because like on our stage, like we were already really good friends with August Burns Red and Blessed to Fall, and on the other stage, I mean Sleeping, and we played shows with like the Chiodos guys, and so Warped Tour was just like everywhere we went, it was like, oh, a band that we're friends with already.
Yeah, like Moz.
Yeah, like Moz, Woe Is Me, Icy Stars were all on the Monster stage. And then it was cool. And
so many bands and stuff.
Our good friend Chad ended up filling in for the Amity Affliction. Chad normally plays drums in Glass Cloud. And like the third day in, the drummer of the Amity Affliction broke a stick and it flew up into his eye.
Oh, man.
And he had to fly home to Australia to get like surgery done. And so our good friend Chad was just playing drums for them all summer. So that was really cool. And yeah, it was like just like a huge like hangout all summer long.
Yep.
Really
Yeah, that was
sweet.
a cool day. Ended up the last day was in Houston. So.
Yep.
What was like one of the craziest things that you saw happen on that tour? I'm sure you see some wild stuff with that many bands and such small quarters in so many different cities. The hottest part of the year too.
Oh my gosh, Las Vegas was so
Yeah, that was
bad.
crazy.
They
really hot.
Yeah, cooked an egg on the pavement. We had a signing in Las Vegas, and a girl passed out into like the signing table, and Eric, luckily, our drummer Eric, actually like caught her head with his foot. Like, she would have went like face first into the concrete, and we were like, holy crap! They took like a thermometer to like the ground, and they said it was 155 degrees on the pavement.
Jeez.
And like just the normal air temperature was 115.
Yeah, it was
like,
brutal. That
was one of the hottest days of all time.
Yeah, the Texas shows were
Yeah, they were
really
bad.
hot, too.
I was unfortunate enough to have my birthday on Warped Tour, and that was like the best and worst thing ever because there's so many like friends and everything, but you know everyone wants you to take a shot with them and have a beer with them, and like by the end of the night I was just like toast.
Yeah.
That was a mess.
The Detroit show was awesome too.
Detroit was so sick.
It was really, and then after we played, there was this massive storm that was super gnarly. But
it was such a fun summer. Yeah, on my birthday too, Jake from August Burns Red had the crowd scream "Happy Birthday" to me. It was so funny.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
that was good.
It was a really good summer.
Cool. Well, another question I want to get into is what artist or band got you guys into music in the first place?
Let's see. When I was younger, I loved Relient K. They made me want to play guitar, and I like joined like my church youth group band, and from there I met I didn't meet, but I was in that band with the original bass player of this band. He was like, hey, I got band practice tomorrow, we're looking for a guitar player, you should come try out. I was like, yeah, totally. And I came and like tried out, and I guess they thought that I was good enough, even though I was terrible at guitar. I was so bad. And I didn't know what any sort of like heavy music was. They're like, have you ever heard of this band or this band? I'm like, who's Under Oath? And like from there was like the start of me like listening to any heavy band. And it was really when I found like Under Oath and As Cities Burn will probably be my two favorite like bands that really influenced me in the kind of heavier music genre.
I would say The Used, Thrice, Story of the Year, The Bled, Under Oath. They all kind of got me into like this
Heavier
kind of
stuff.
music. Yeah, and then from there I just kept listening to like heavier and heavier music. But those were like the gateway bands for me that like, you know, made me want to start this band and start playing this kind of music. And so at the time I was in a pop punk band and I was into that. And then I switched.
What are you guys listening to currently? I'm into this new band, Ghost. I actually got to see them last night. Have you heard about them?
No.
Oh yeah, aren't they on tour with Avenged Sevenfold
Yeah.
and Deftones?
Yeah.
Right?
It's basically like the guys that play the instruments.
Yeah, they dress up as like popes or something.
like Grim Reapers, and then the singer is like a pope, but if the pope were into black metal. It's pretty interesting. It kind of sounds
Yeah.
like Black Sabbath.
That's crazy.
I just bought the new Panic at the Disco CD. I like it. I think it's great. And I bought the new Defeater CD. They were on Warped Tour.
Defeater sick.
And I was like, this sounds like something I would like, so I bought that CD. Actually, probably about a month or two before this tour started. I don't know. I'm not the kind of guy that's like always trying to discover new music.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of just listen to the same sort of stuff. But like the very first Panic at the Disco CD that came out, like I loved it in high school, and then they came out with the new one, so I was like, yeah, I'll get it. And it was awesome. I think it's awesome. I was listening to it today.
I got the new Straight from the Path record, Anonymous. I really like that. I don't know. I like heavier kind of hardcore kind of stuff like that. Or what's that one band? There's a couple songs on the new Sworn In record that are pretty sweet that I've been listening to. I listen to it before we go on stage. I'm like,
Get you pumped
Yeah.
up. There you go. Very cool. You guys are on a bus most of the year. Do you guys have any interesting rules that you guys have to follow besides the no number 2 on the bus? Anything
Yeah,
funny that
definitely
fans
that.
would be interested in hearing?
We have a lot of like probably once a week, like we'll try to like clean out the back lounge or whatever. And Dave is always the master cleaner, probably because no one else is clean and no one wants to do it.
Neat
Dave
freak.
just takes care of us. And we'll have like seriously a garbage bag full of just everyone's stuff that we call the lost and found. And then we throw it outside the bus, and by the end of the day, if you don't pick it up or go through it, we
It's
just
gone.
leave it there and throw it out.
Yeah.
And I've lost like 2 pairs of shoes that way. Like
different members have a really hard time putting their things away, and it's like,
I'm usually not that
Too-
bad,
no.
I will say.
but it's too hard to keep track of whose stuff is whose, and like I don't know like whose T-shirt that is or anything, you know. And I'm nice enough to clean the bus, so I'm just gonna. You guys figure it out. Throw it
Yeah.
outside.
You want to call anyone out right now? Here's your
Oh,
chance.
Kyle's the
Kyle's
worst.
the worst.
God.
Oh, it's just so bad.
For a long time, like he would, for example, I would clean up the entire bus, and then he'd go get Jimmy John's and eat half the sandwich, and then
Just
leave
leave
all
it
the
there.
scraps and everything right there on the table right after I just cleaned. Like,
Like right
The
next
whole
to
room?
right next to the trash can too. We're like
so I
3
started
feet,
like
maybe.
taking his stuff and just putting it in his bunk because his bunk is the only thing he keeps nice.
Yeah.
So I started invading his spot with the trash he'd leave out in the rest of the bus.
Yeah. You'd open his curtain at night and there'd just be a half-eaten Jimmy John sandwich just right there. You'd be like,
Yeah.
"Whoa." Get all mad about it. Sorry,
Awesome.
man, you left it out. We thought you wanted to save it, so we put it in your bunk.
Yeah. He's
Sorry,
the
Kyle.
Yeah.
Worst. He's the absolute worst.
All right, well, last but not least, I'd like to end every interview with a tattoo question. If you guys could, tell me about your funniest tattoo story or your current favorite or latest tattoo.
I started working on the lower part of my arm right before this tour. It's still even a little peely, actually. But I think this tiger is my favorite piece that I have. I went with like a different artist and did everything up here, and this is the first piece he did on my arm, and I was just really excited about it. I like the way it healed. It healed fast. The color stayed, and he was really fast. This only took him 2.5 hours, lining, color, shading, everything. So it was pretty quick, and he's a cool guy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nick Kelly, signature. He did all this other stuff too, and he's gonna fill it all up when I get home.
Where's signature?
It's in Ferndale, which is on the border of Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. I have 2 tattoos above my knees. One says DTP, and it means down to party. Just kind of a joke because I'm like the least partier kind of guy. And then I have one that says LTD for living the dream. and that's just like the motto. I've just saying it for years. And then, actually, I would say my favorite tattoos are, We Are Not Meaningless, and it's from our first CD. I got it done with like my dad and my sisters and stuff. And then my friend Romeo did this one. It says I'm Alive with the little flowers and stuff, and that's from our second CD. I got it done because I had like a really bad time in the hospital with being sick, like right before we recorded that CD, and so that CD is like really kind of important to me. And so I find like a lyric that means a lot to me from every CD and get it. And now I got to find one from Tracing Back Roots. I don't know.
That's pretty cool that your family went ahead and did it with you. That's badass.
Yeah, I think my dad actually has more. My dad has like 4 of our lyric tattoos on him. My dad's awesome.
Biggest fan.
He honestly is. My dad is so supportive of me, and it's great.
That's awesome. So do you have any funny ones? Those are
Not
always
yet.
the best. Not yet.
I have a group of guys at home. We go out every Thursday night. Well, we go out all day pretty much. Like in the summer, we go out, tee off, golf at 7 in the morning, go straight from the golf course onto my boat all afternoon, and then get dinner together, and then go to the bars together. And it's an all-day thing, and we call it Guys Day.
Yeah.
And everyone that's involved, I think we're all going to get Guys Day tattooed down here when we get home.
There we go.
And my one friend Justin has no tattoos at all, so his first tattoo ever is going to be Guys Day.
Awesome. Cool.
But yeah, we're gonna make it a thing. Like if you want into Guys Day, you have to like
Gotta
get the tattoo after like your first Guys Day initiation.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate your time, and I'll see you guys in the pit.
Cool, man.